Hello, welcome to Chris Parkin Shooting Sports. Today we've got a review of the Ruger American Rimfire. This is the long-range target version. This is the first Rimfire I've had that's got a really good long-range stock on it, coupled to an ideal action for the process of shooting at longer distance with the small Rimfire round. This has got a 22-inch 560mm barrel for an overall 40.5-inch 1030mm overall length. Weight 8 pounds, which is 3.6 kilos, and it's got a 13.5-inch length of pull, which is 343mm. This is adjustable with a spacer system. The trigger is adjustable from 3 to 5 pounds, and mine weighed in at 1260 grams, which is 44.3 ounces. You do need to take the rifle out of the stock to adjust the trigger, but it's not a huge problem. I was particularly pleased that the firing pin's got a good sharp edge on it, so you get very well defined impacts on the case to give good ignition. No misfires with this rifle. The foreend's reassuringly stiff and stippled, so you get a good grip on it. There's no intermittent barrel harmonic problems because of flexibility in the stock. Loading the bipod's also secure. The big benefit of this rifle is the fact it's got an adjustable cheek piece which you can raise and lower with a quick release lever on the right hand side, and it also moves forwards and backwards. With the cheek piece raised, the bolt will still remove from the rifle using the left hand bolt release catch. I especially like the bolt handle on this rifle and the speed of use. It has very little disruption to the stability and aim of the rifle. Bolt lift is just 60 degrees, and there's a 2-position tang safety which is operable quietly with your thumb. You can see it's pretty easy to adjust and alter, but there isn't a memory system, so you might want to just put some pencil marks or something like that on it to check where your favourite position is. You can also see there's quite a few sling studs and quick release cups. I wasn't so mad on the fact the cheek piece is quite broad. This was a bit of a fluky shot I got with the camera here, just lifting up through the target. The only thing with broad cheek pieces I'm not too fond of is the fact your head tends to roll over them a little bit more because they don't nestle and fit underneath your cheekbone. They can displace your jaw sideways a bit. Suits different people different ways, but I prefer the slightly slimmer comb shape. The rifle fits either the BX-10 or BX-25 Ruger magazine systems, which are quite familiar. One great factor is that because this isn't a gas blowback action like the 1022 you might be familiar with, the magazine doesn't tend to get dirty with residue and wax off the bullets. Loading is in fact very smooth and precise. I didn't have a single misfeed or misfire throughout the whole usage time of the gun. There's a large extended release lever under the front of the trigger guard, which makes swap overs quick and easy because the mag just drops into your palm and the next one clips straight into position without any kind of wiggling required to get it to line up. The trigger's got an inner safety blade. I don't mind these, they tend to feel a bit like a 2-stage trigger in my mind, and this one's adjustable from 3 to 5 pounds. You've got to take it out of the stock to do so though. I weighed my test gun at 1260 grams on the trigger, which is 44 ounces. The underside of the stock has got a bag rider, which gives you a good solid position for a soft rear bag. There's also a recess underneath for your hand to fit into. Because the butt hook isn't too short, your left elbow can stay quite broadly away from the stock with your hand well forward underneath the rifle. I find this is better for long range stability. I've reviewed a few centerfires recently that had a really small butt hook. This meant that your hand has to travel a long way back to keep the gun firmly planted into your shoulder, and that has the effect of drawing your left elbow very close to the rifle, and you do lose lateral stability, especially in the prone position. I used an M-Lock specific Magpul Bipod. I'm quite fond of these. It was really reassuring to be able to put plenty of shoulder pressure into the gun and have the feet grip whatever surface you were using. I would recommend these to anybody. It's easily possible to test every type of ammunition under the sun, and if the gun's yours I would recommend doing so, but sub-minute of angle at 100 metres was quite satisfactory as a starting point for me before I moved out to longer range. This is Dave now on the rifle. He's shooting out at 150 metres. Unfortunately it was quite a blustery day and you'll pick up a lot of the wind noise on the microphone from the camera. It's possible to see just how smooth the rifle is to operate, and you know here with the sound moderator on, it's very little muzzle movement from only a 2.2 rimfire anyway. The loading cycle is smooth, ejection is positive, no mishaps, no misfeeds, no problems. We had a few gongs out at 150 metres, and you can see there that's through the Schmittenbender PM2 scope. We weren't concentrating too much on the wind. You'll notice from the groups you get quite minimal vertical spread, and there's quite a lot of lateral spread, but we were shooting a sort of quartering crosswind, which was very blustery, and to be honest, that wasn't the focus of the test. We were out for a bit of plinking, to be honest, and once I've proven the gun on paper at 100 metres, which was the previous day under better conditions, I'm happy to continue out to longer range. But on the days when the weather's bad with a 2.2 rimfire, you're never going to shoot great groups on video, I don't think. I'm certainly not, I'm only human. So, after shooting the gun for a couple of weeks, here's what I think. I rather like it, actually. It's pretty good stock. I'm not a huge fan of the cheek piece. I'd probably modify it a bit narrower myself, but I did like it, and it was very stable during firing. The stock was stiff. You could load the bipod. Grip into your shoulder was good. I liked the trigger. There was a little bit of creep, but it was smooth, so you didn't feel any sort of grittiness as you took up the pressure on the blade. I think if the gun was mine and I was modifying it for perfection, I would probably go for an 18. I doubt a 16, but yeah, an 18-inch barrel I think gives the best compromise of muzzle velocity, because you can maybe get another 30 to 40 feet per second before you get too problematic with transonic flight. It just gives you that little bit of an edge, but I certainly don't mind running around 1,030 feet per second. Having the inclined rail included is brilliant, because the Schmittenbender scope, which is quite out of the price range of the rifle perhaps, but it left me 25 milliradians of adjustment, and had the weather and space been a little bit more available this day, I would have liked to have gone out a lot further. I'm there. I'm shooting for hits. I'm not trying to shoot small groups, and for something like Precision Rifle Series, this would be a great rimfire rifle. So I recommend it. I liked using it, and I'd be happy to own it myself. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.